Hello, once again, welcome back to the Django Beat channel. My name's Stuart Gauntlet. I hope now you've at least been following these in sequence. They are in sequence, these lessons. There is a sort of an underlying current of reason under the chaos. So today we're going to be looking at the minor 251. I'm going to be just going through the chords and just showing you what that is. We've done the major 251. Now to see the minor 251. If you don't know what a 251 progression is, look at the previous video on the major 251 that gives you a basic sort of explanation. I'm going to be just building on the last one as I go. So if this doesn't make sense, it's because you haven't seen the video before, or because I don't explain it very well in the first one. Anyway, right, minor 251. Okay, so we're in G as well. We're in G again. But our one chord is not going to be G, it's going to be E minor. Now this is because I said in the earlier one, you'll see that every key has two centers of gravitas, centers of gravity, okay, where a song will begin or end. They often, more than likely, will end there. They don't always have to start there. If you listen to songs like Just Friends or Stella by Starlight, the first chord of the song isn't actually the key center. Anyway, I digress. So minor 251. Okay, so the minor 251 for E minor, it's going to be E minor, is like this. I'm going to do it down at the bottom of the neck, and I'm going to use a number of inversions for the one chord, and there's a reason why. Okay, so that's the 2. 1, E minor, yeah. 1, 2. It's a 4-note chord, okay. And then the 5. These are using open notes, okay. In time, you should try to avoid that, okay. And then 1. So there's. You've got F sharp minor 7 flattened 5th. You have B7, and then you have E minor. That's it. Okay, but we've got open notes. Now the reason that we don't really tend to use open notes when playing is because we want this. We want to have control so that we can mute things. We don't really want things. Floating, you know, kind of ringing for a long time. We want things tight and clipped, or at least have the control to do either one or the other. Now, there are a couple of things we need to do just to address this. I'm going to move it up here. You can hear, yeah, that those are very similar. That's because they're made up of the same notes. And there will be an analysis of these in further videos. I'm just going to show you what to do for now. Okay, so we've got your ring finger is muting C on the 5th fret of the G string and E, the 5th fret of the G string. Your ring finger is on the F sharp, which is the 4th fret of the D string. Your middle finger is on the low E, playing an A and muting the open A. Okay, that is your minor 2. Okay, it's an A minor 6. In this position, it's known as an A minor 6. Okay, then your 5. I'm going to get you to play it here. Okay, so you can hear there's a sort of movement. Again, similar to the major one, but sort of darker feel, isn't there? Right, so how do you play this one? Okay. You notice I'm not using bar chords. The reason I'm not using bar chords is because when you're going like this all the time, when you're pumping, you can get pretty tired, and it's not good for your hands. It's really not good for them to be doing things repetitively without any movement. The more varied you can do things on your fretboard, the longer your career will be. So the Gypsy Jazz way of playing chords is actually, as much as it's interesting and it gives them more variety, it's actually quite practical. Now anyway, index finger on the 7th fret of the low E, middle finger on the 7th fret of the D, little finger on the 8th fret of the G string, ring finger on the 7th fret of the B string, and you're muting the open A by using your index finger here, and you're muting the high E with part of your hand here. Okay, so now you've got... Okay, now we need the 1. Now this is Gypsy Jazz, okay? You could just play a nice minor chord, or a minor 7 chord, you know, you could, if, you know, you're playing jazz. But in general, the Gypsy Jazzers tend to use something else. They'll use a substitution for their 1 chord, which is kind of unusual. Now, in this instance, it's going to be a C sharp minor 7 flattened 5th. Okay? And the reason it's called that is if you play, there you go, C sharp there. If you play a C minor 7, 1, 3, 5, you flatten that 5th, and you play the other same notes, that's what you get. You get that sound. Doesn't sound like a minor chord, does it? If I put an E, which is the minor, it's the first note of a minor, it's the thing that names the chord, the root. I play it together. Ooh, it sounds. Doesn't that sound familiar? If you've been listening to Gypsy Jazz, that must sound quite familiar. Now I'm just going to add that now. One thing I do here when I play these kind of chords is I put my thumb over, and I'll just show you how to play this position here. Little finger on the 5th fret of the B string. Middle finger on the 4th fret of the G, ring finger on the 5th fret of the D, index finger on the 4th fret of the A string, and your thumb on the G. It's quite tricky. It's worth getting used to though. Right, now let's add it in. Sounds kind of moody, kind of awkward, doesn't it? But look. Sounds great. Now we'll be doing inversions. We'll be showing you where this chord is in different parts of the neck. We'll be going into each of these chords has its own scale, a particular bebop scale. There are ways of breaking the arpeggio rules and changing direction with melody, all sorts of different things. Some of it won't be included in my videos because it's too much, and I might have to start thinking about a book or PDFs that I will sell, because quite frankly it's going to be a lot of work. Now, so your 2-5-1, again, if you just do it the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep reviewing the video, play it back a few times, get these positions in your head, get them under your fingers, and just play through. Because we're going to start having to analyse this. You've now got your major 2-5-1 and your minor 2-5-1. We're going to play around with those, and then at some point soon we'll start doing some song analysis. Okay, so subscribe, click, like, comments. I keep saying important. Give me some more questions, or comments. Just, you know, say how good I'm doing. You know, that'd be nice. And I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.